Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Fish Tank Barn Tuesday night live stream. So let's go ahead and see who we've got here. Alright, we've got Reels Tanks, Don Gallagher, Candy, thank you for the link, Terry's Tropical Tanks, we got Willie Pridemore, Daryl Deemer, Derek Runyon, Guppy Guru, White. So we'll go ahead and give it a few more minutes here. Sure that hey Pepperland Creek, hey Jessica, I think Rack and Chattanooga Ed and the River Life are finishing up. I sort of left a few minutes early, so hello Katie, how's it going? Even though you should be in bed, but hello anyway. Alright, so let us go ahead here and see. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and get started with the events portion of this. So alright, is that better, Candy? Didn't realize it was muted. So, alright, so we've got the big fish deal coming up. Audio and visual out. Hold on. So, well, there's no visual at the moment, so let's just check. Because this is kind of a... Alright, yeah, for some reason it was muted, I don't know why. I'll have to check the setting on that because it was muted. So, all right.
I guess let's kind of we'll recap a little bit of Sunday's video. Sunday's video, we did start a new series talking about basically a breeding vlog. So we're going to kind of go through and kind of document the various breeding projects here. So one couple things. Oh, now we have echo. All right. Shoot. Now we have echo. All right. Is there echo now? What the heck's going on with this thing? All right. All right. You should have no echo now. All right. Good. We've got it fixed. All right. So for whatever reason, we had the other audio that should have been muted was not muted. So still echo? Really? All right. Hold on. TV's off. Let's try that. Echo now? All right, good. Wow, we had echo all over the place. Good. So, all right. All right, so now that we've gotten through the technical difficulties, so we did talk about the breeding vlog a little bit. All right, good. So, and basically we went, I left a few things out that I probably shouldn't have. One of the things was when I did do the angelfish eggs, I did use Dan's fish method using the 1 milliliter of hydrogen, or sorry, 3 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide per gallon. That worked out pretty well. So I did figure out what I did. A couple things is once they turn to the wiggler stage, I do need to turn down the flow. And then secondly, I do need to do a little bit better job, like I said in the video, of doing some water changes. So, hello there, Bob. Thank you for coming by. And then one other thing too is, speaking of that, I do want to thank the super chatters from last week. I neglected to do that on my way out. So thank you for the kind support last week. Very much appreciate it. So again, like I said, sorry for neglecting that at the end of the stream. That's one of the things now you got to remember to do. Once you kind of hit the monetization stuff. So we'll try not to do that again. So let's go ahead and take a walk around for a minute. I do want to show you some updates on some of the other breeding stuff we've got going on. So, and some other kind of things I've been playing around with. And then we'll go ahead and get on to the main topic. So let's go ahead and switch everything over. Hey Amber, how's it going? Hey Scott's Aquatics. All right, let's go ahead here and we will switch all of our equipment. So we've got the phone camera.
All right, so it looks like we have good audio, and we're going to see if this works. Why will it not let me see the chat? Yeah, we'll have to work on that some more. All right, so let's go ahead and take a walk around, and we'll kind of see here. So this is where the angelfish come from. That's what we talked about last week. So, all right. So over here now, these are the Pseudotropheus interruptus chismulu. The tank's a little bit dirty. Got to get that one cleaned up a little bit. Talking about the saltwater tank, I did add some green chromis in here. There's one right there, so I'm hoping that there is more. So I did buy 3 of them, and I'm hoping they didn't go for a trip down the overflow, because they're all kind of small. But I'll go dig them out if they did. So let me see any other things of note here. Nope, we've seen these guys before. The you know, we kind of talked about these quite a bit. The Gadaids and the guppies here. But let's head on upstairs for. So I want to show you these guys. These, I actually got these today. These were, there's a ton of them in here. These are the Pseudotropheus. It's not Pseudotropheus. It's yeah, Pseudotropheus ACI. Sorry. So it's the purple ACI. Got quite a few. Have a ton of fry in here, so that's pretty awesome. This is the biggest spawn of any of the fish I've had so far from the African cichlids. And then anything else that's really kind of a little bit here. These Limias, of course, they're not out now, but these Limia fry are doing pretty well as well. These are some of my favorites. So, and then kind of some other little project updates up here. We do have, we're getting all the 10-gallon tanks put back together now. And then I am working on adding some lids, which I probably needed to do a long time ago, but we have them now. And then let's go back over here. I made an upgrade to my little drain here. I know this is terribly exciting, but basically this is kind of a dump drain. So I can open this little thing up, and I can just basically kind of empty buckets up here without having to carry them all down the stairs and slosh water everywhere, and etc. So basically this is just like a 4-inch, little 4-inch fitting that goes into a 2-inch that kind of goes into a 1-inch, but nothing terribly exciting. But so here we'll look at these. These are the Limia, the Tiger Limias, and then anything else. So got this tank set up back here as well now, and we did buy these lights, which they're a little bit leave a little bit to be desired in some ways. They're like 4,000 Kelvin, which is not my favorite spectrum. But these are, a lot of these are either micro live bearer tanks or like fish grow out. So I'll live with them for that. So I picked them up at the local Menards. Got some light on this subject down here finally, which is good. So really do like these guppies as well. These are basically some spade tails. I have their name downstairs. That's one of the things I'm going to work on here, is getting the labels made. So all right, so let's go ahead and head back down, and we'll start on talking about taking it too far. All right. So hello D, how's it going? All right, so let me switch all the audio and equipment here, and then I'll show you kind of what we're playing with here.
All right, so we should have no echo now, and then we should be good. So, all right. Cody, I have Let me see. I have quite a few species of Limia actually. I've got Limia sulfurophylla, Limia Limia vittata, Limia melanogaster, Limia perugiae, Limia species 44 tiger, the ones that you saw, and Limia nigrofasciata. And hey Don, how's it going? And Limia sulfurophylla. So I think that was 7. I think. Yeah, I think that's about right. 7. So I did buy a few more new toys in the past week or so. I'm not liking this camera, so hold on 1 second here. I have to sit back a little. Okay. So I did buy a couple things that were kind of interesting. One, and I hope you noticed a little bit of a difference in the audio, but I did buy this little rig here. So basically, I was trying to get the chat, so I'm going to have to, I actually took my work phone and was using that, but I hope the audio was better because I took my normal camera mic and I was able to mount it on this thing. It was like $15 on Amazon. So I've got like, you know, the dual phones, and so I can actually see your chat, but it didn't work. So I'm going to see if I can, you know, maybe I'll do it now. Maybe if I can turn it to the side, then we can go from there. Let's try that for a second here. I wonder if it'll work. Okay, cool, Candy. We're looking for a little bit of feedback on that as well. That's one of the things I was kind of thinking about. I was like, you know what, I could probably make that audio a lot better, you know, without it being on the phone. Oh, that's not gonna work. All right. Yeah. So basically, I was messing around with the phone, but this is the rig. So basically, your phone sits in the middle, and then I have the other phone. Maybe I'll have to get like a cold shoe mount, put it up here or on the side. But yeah, because I was trying to see it, make it so I could read the chat. So maybe it's my work phone too. So yeah, it doesn't give me the chat on this. It's bizarre. All right, strange. All right, well, we'll have to keep working on that. So. But this is the rig, make it a little bit easier. So, Bob, I'm using the iPhone 8. Actually, my work phone's an iPhone 8 as well. Maybe it just doesn't like live streaming, but who knows. So, anyways, we got 40 on. So, if you guys could go ahead and hit the like button, I would appreciate it. So, definitely would appreciate any of the support, etc. So let's go ahead and talk about the topic at hand now. Kind of talk about, can you take the hobby too far? So here's what I will say is that you can. You for sure can take it too far to the point, basically to the point where, you know, it can be more of a stressor than a relief. Kind of got this really, you know, a lot of people probably are thinking because I put the U-Haul on, it was from Amber's post on Instagram. But it was actually from Joel's. Joel Corvus Oskin was talking about this yesterday, and you know, he was talking about people on YouTube, and he's like, well, you know, I'm paraphrasing of course, but people, you know, are, you know, setting up all these tanks, and you know, it can be, you know, it can be more of a stressor, and it was less stressful for him when he downsized. So I can definitely see that. That's, you know, I got to a point, you know, I'll be honest here, I got to a point last year between like the aquarium events and the auctions and everything else that it really sort of, it got pretty close to the breaking point, we'll put it that way. So, and it really did Thanks, Amber. Yeah, so it really did sort of, you know, it kind of got close, you know, where it was like, you know, especially like the drywall stuff and like the drywall coming down. So it's you know, and I've been there with saltwater too, but you know, when I went to Grand Rapids and you know it was $1 per bag time for 5 hours straight, and I came home with you know 30 some bags of fish. That was sort of that was really something that you know it kind of made me kind of take a step back because I was literally like buying tanks because I was running out of tank space. So, but yeah, so it was you know it was definitely you know you kind of hit that point. I think we all do, and I think it's different for everyone in their particular situation, right? I mean, if you're call it a professional aquarist, and say there's fewer, call it outside influences, then maybe you can have 300 tanks. But at the same time, no, I purposely did not rob her Instagram photo. I was tempted to ask her if I could use her photo, but no, I found that off like the U-Haul website or something. That was I think that's like an older model. I even found like the old ancient U-Haul as well, just to make sure there was like no similarity at all. Yeah, see that's different for like Amber. It's a business, right? So that's different. For me, this is kind of turning into one out of. I'll say I wouldn't say necessity, but I would say that the barn needs to give back a little. You know, not like pay for itself. You know, at this point, but you know, and plus, I mean, some of the fish here are fairly rare, and so it's good to get those fish back out. You know, into the hobby. So especially a lot of the Gadaean species, the Limias, and some of the other rare live bears that are in here. It would definitely be something that's good to get, you know, more of them out there. So, you know, if it brings in a little bit of money back in, that's okay too. But I don't really consider it like a business per se. But at the same time, you know, it's just kind of nice to have it give back a little. No, I will stick with it too. I mean, I've been doing this forever. I would say now forever, at various stages and stages. I mean, we all go through different, you know, ups and downs. You know. Have fewer tanks, have more tanks, have different fish, have these fish, have that fish. So, yeah, no, Recon, you're right for sure. I mean, there's a certain point where, you know, you don't enjoy the tanks as much, you know. So, what's for sale, Bob? Nothing's really for sale yet. I mean, I'm not gonna like downsize or anything. I think like now that I've got it stabilized somewhat, like other than you know, even though I said I wasn't working on projects, I decided to actually work on a little project. So I've been playing around with changing up some of the water. I've decided that I don't like the so I got this, you know, so I've been playing with, you know, a different water system, which I'm now glued shut, apparently. But I've got these little things. So I'm going to replace some of the water system upstairs. So, but yeah, Peplum, there are so many fish. And there's a lot of rare fish, especially like the live bears. So, right now though, I really sell at the auctions. I did my first swap in Grand Rapids a few weeks ago, which was a lot of fun. I definitely will do some again. I mean, depending on the price. But I mean, right now, I mean, from like a sales standpoint, it's really, I really don't have the stock right now to really go hardcore. I mean, I'd have to, I'd have to breed out a ton more things. The one thing I will say is that I probably will start making some more yellow labs. And the ACI that you saw upstairs, those are just some bread and butter fish. And especially the yellow labs, there's a lot of crappy looking yellow labs out there. So I think the group that I have, they're pretty good. They don't have any orange in them. The black is decent. So, but right now we're just kind of going to focus, on building a lot of stock up. I know there's a swap. I think it was in April. There's one around here in April, and there's another one in May. And I don't know if I'll be selling at those or not, just because I don't know, especially with the auction coming up. I really don't think I'll be in a position stock-wise to really sell a whole lot. So, no, agreed, Chevy. There's definitely you need the recharge and all that stuff. Yeah, moving tanks is, yeah, I don't like to move tanks for sure. I've actually, it has crossed my mind to, and I don't think I'll do it because I think saltwater's been a part of my hobby experience for so long that I don't think I would completely ever get out of it. But don't know where I'm going to take saltwater still. Especially with the MBI moving to Minnesota, that makes it a little harder. To get that, I think all of us, who go to conventions, you get a little bit of a recharge out of it. So, and then one of the truths, I guess, of breeding clownfish is there's not like an auction to get rid of them. You really have to pound the pavement, get into the stores. And the people here they're probably already buying from someone. There's also, there's ORA, there's Sustainable Aquatics, there's Sea and Reef. There's all these companies who are already making clownfish, right? So clownfish is it's honestly kind of a sucker's game because, you don't want to be too successful. It's a weird, I'm going off on a tangent here, but it's kind of a weird little deal, right? Because you've got this, there's no outlet to get rid of the fish. And even though, if I go upstairs and I can show you the 50 convicts I have upstairs, I can take those to the auction and someone will use them. They'll either sell them or take them to use them as feeders or do something with them. Even though if I get $1 for a bag for them, you can at least move the stock on. So but for clownfish there isn't there really isn't that market. You can't, if I, for example, the tomato clownfish, right? In my area, tomato clownfish they're not that sought after. So you can make 50 of them, and then you have them for. So Detroit anymore, Chewy. I'll get to that in just a second. That's a very interesting. I can go for a while on that question, Chewy. So and I'll get Fish Dreams this question as well. So where are they going? Oh yeah. So basically, you're stuck with 50 tomato clownfish that you're going to have a lot of trouble getting rid of. And it's really, and then what are you going to do with them? You've got to go ahead and keep them, do the responsible thing, keep them alive. But, they turn into, it's like having, the cichlid death tank at that point. So, there's a little bit of, of sort of the truth, I guess, in terms of the clownfish breeding stuff. So let's go. I am going to take Chewy's question first, and then I'm going to go back to Fish Dreams because I'm going to actually show him the ones that I use. So the Marine Club scene, basically, Chewy here kind of died. I am still the treasurer of the Marine Club, but it's really now is really the Marine Breeding Initiative is really what it does. So basically, we used to do a conference every year. I'm going to say it's similar to something. I mean, OCA is a bad example, but similar to something like maybe a smaller version of the of like maybe like a big fish deal, but like cut it in half, make it saltwater. And it really, we did that for about 14 years, and then the Great Recession came, and basically the hobby sort of took an interesting turn. It became a lot more of just buying and selling corals, and no one really wanted to come for the speakers anymore. And so it kind of turned into this, and then there was a lot of in Michigan itself. There was a lot of competing like interest, especially like forums and things like that, which was the YouTube of the day back, say in like 2009, 2010, 2011, and it really kind of split up, and now all the swaps, coral-wise, are done by this one guy, and so it was just this weird setup. So you had like the Detroit fish, you had Bassam, and then you had a website that was Michigan-based, where everybody went to. And then you had a second website where everybody went to, and then you had clubs that were like in Lansing or Grand Rapids that were doing their thing as well. And so it kind of never, there was all these competing factors, and and it sort of just fizzled out. And then after the recession, a lot of things just sort of, the mentality changed. It all became about cheap frags, cheap corals, cheap this. We brought in speakers and no one would go. So it became at the end it sort of died out. And then our club kind of got into, like, the people who ran the club, including myself, we got into the Marine Breeding Initiative, and our focus kind of became that, out of kind of almost, I don't know if it was necessity or it's just kind of what we became. And so that's kind of what it is. So let me go ahead and answer Fish Dream's question. So I am going to flip the camera back on, and I'll show him or actually, you know what I'll do? Make it even easier. We'll go to Amazon. So let me find what I like to use. There's different types. Let me find what I like to use. Alright, we go power strip. Alright, so what I want to use, I like things that have screw holes. So if you look at something like this, like these, like that I can screw into the wall. So like this, any of these, not that one, but let's go like something like this. This is right here. I think I own this very one. But if we open this up, and if you go, we'll go, you got the screw holes in it at the top. So, I mean, that's what I like to use. it's just a personal preference because that way you're not strapping it to the ceiling and doing all that stuff. So definitely Dr. Black is next. So definitely stick around after I'm done and go ahead and check out Dr. Black. So, all right, let's go ahead and we'll close Amazon back out here. And then we've got, all right, so we do have, let's see what other questions there are. Make sure I didn't miss anything while I was upstairs earlier. So we talked about the Limia. So hi Susan, I sorry I missed you earlier. Let me see. Alright, so no, I think I got everybody's questions. So yeah, so we did get don't hang around for Dr. Black. He'd be a bit boring. No, I don't think you're boring, Dr. Black. I think you bring a liveliness and excitement to the fish tube community. So don't sell yourself short. So you know what? Maybe I guess since Cody was asking about the Limia, let's go ahead and take a little bit of a walk and we'll see if we can find. We'll go ahead and take a look at the Limias. So a couple of their tanks are not very clean, but that's okay. I think we can do. We can go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and we'll do the quotes of the week. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing rolling again. That didn't work very well. All right, so we are finding the Limias that we have. Actually, the first Limias are over here. So. Oh, and I didn't show you my other toy. I bought a little label maker because I got sick of printing out labels and cutting them out for auctions. So I bought that as well. So, all right. So we have the right here. We have the Limia Perugia. I just got these actually at the Grandma's Swap. I actually do have a location on those as well. So I'll back up a little bit so you might be able to read that. But it's the Dominican Republic. And these guys are full-size adults. These guys are pretty massive. So a couple of these we're going to have to go kind of bend down and stuff. So I'm just going to bear with me for a second. So. There are no other Limias here, so the rest of them are upstairs. All right, so we've talked about these guys already. We'll put some food in here so we can get them to come out a little bit. So we got the Limia melanogaster. I want to show you like the not fry. So if you look at the female,
down there. So that's the female. I think the female of this species actually looks better than the male. So all right, so next one. The next Limias are going to be over here. These are the Nigra fasciata. And they're not cooperating, they're in the hornwort. Oh, right on us. I think that's the female. Come on, turn around. Alright, so that's the female Nigra fasciata. If you want to see some Gideas, these are the amicus ones. This population is actually starting to grow quite a bit. So you can see now, like, you've got about 3 or 4 different generations in here. If I just zoom on back a little bit, especially if you look towards the back, the camera's probably not going to go, but you got some, you got these guys here, and there's some in the back that are even smaller than that. So you've got quite a few generations in here now. And so I'm starting to get that fish kind of ramped up, ready to sell as well. All right. Next Limia, we saw these already, but these are the species 44 tigers. These guys are just fry, but I got these at the show as well, in Grand Rapids. Next Limias are going to be, all right. So that was 3. All right. Let me pull this out real quick. There. I'll lay on the subject. So these are limit pilot. Unfortunately, I have like 4 males in here. So I'm hoping that there's some at the auction, because I will get some more, because I need something other than males. Next one down here is Limia tridens. These tanks need a little bit of work on them still, but cool. But these guys are still little guys. I mean, so got some Limia tridens in here, and then I like to keep a lot of algae in these tanks just to, for fry and coverings, etc. So I didn't think we'd be showing off Limias, but it's okay. And then we got Limia vittata over here. So I think that's 6. So, or maybe 7. So I've got the Limia vittata right here. So, yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. All right, so that's 7 Limias. So, see, these guys aren't going too bad. I don't think they're going too fast. I mean, there's literally like 8 million of them. And just for, we've got the brine shrimp hatcher here. And one thing I decided to do is I actually decided to hook up all of my my breeding tumblers and stuff on a separate air pump, just so that I can kind of control it and do my thing with it. So All right, let's get everything reset back up. And then, all right, we got 15 minutes to go. Make sure I don't use my time here. All right, so looks like we've got Gnarly Fish is here, GRB. So Peplin Creek, the building is basically, it's 14 feet wide, 20 feet long, with a second story on top. So I think it's, here, we'll do some math real quick. So roughly, I think there's like 560 square feet ish. So one thing I did actually realize that, as I was walking down the stairs, I didn't cover is how do you work yourself out of, I guess, taking it too far. Here's what I'd say: is one is that automation is your friend. I don't think I would be able to keep. Oh, so cool. So thank you, Bob, for the super sticker. Definitely appreciate it. So thank you for the $10 super sticker. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so automation is your friend. I mean, without the Neptune Apex and the auto water change system, it's definitely something that I would not be able to keep up with. I think there's something of the order of 96-ish tanks in here right now, and there'd be no way that I could keep up with them all, unless you have the water, the auto water change. So, I mean, like I said earlier, everyone's super, that's super chat. Everyone's situation. So, I've got other, obligations. I've got family, work, official meetings, all stuff. So, it's one of those things where, honestly, it's kind of like you gotta do what you do on YouTube, and so it's all a big balancing act, and you kind of find that, I found that as you get older, you got to make sure you kind of keep it in balance. Not perfect by any means at it, but I've gotten better, I think, over time, and and you get to a point where you've got to not worry about the smaller stuff. I mean, like some of those tanks, are not show tanks. I mean, they're breeding tanks, and so there's going to be algae in them. It's just what it is. So. All right, grab a drink, and we'll hit the Facebook post of the week here. Definitely don't want to miss those. All right, so I've been moving a lot of the G'dayat species to a lot of larger tanks too, because I really want to breed a lot of those out. And some of them are known fry eaters. So, but I've been digging this page. It's called like Wild Live Bear Collective or something like that, and it's really. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly, Amber. So if you stay structured, I'm not a very structured person by nature. So if I didn't have auto water change, it just wouldn't happen. I know how I am, and so if it's one tank, that's no big deal. But yeah, no, I have to have it do it for me. So. And then about every 3-4 months or so, I'll go through gravel vac and kind of clean them up as needed.
but it's definitely one of those things where it's, you know, like if I didn't have something helping me, it just wouldn't happen. So especially the pike live bear when you get into the weird breeding habits of the fluoride. Yeah, I've not got any pikes yet or anything like that. I do want to get some different ones, and I need to research and find some more information on some of the ones I have too. You know, like the I've got these golden teddies that are up here, and you know, I want to learn some more about those, and I want to learn some more about the and there's not a lot about the black fin flashers as well, so we'll figure that one out for sure. So this is this group, and this is one of the examples. I pulled something from there last week too, and this is kind of shows really how Gudaids are, you know, how nice Gudaids are. Basically, they're subtle, but they have a nice, you know, a lot of nice little cool sheens to them. You know, they're not like a red swordtail or, you know, a African cichlid that's, you know, the yellow labs or anything like that. They're more. I have not kept half beaks. That's on my list too. Maybe get a couple strains of half beaks. Kind of play around with those. So. Yeah, cool, Pethlin. I mean, I hope that works out for you. One thing, if you're selling it out of the house, I mean, I don't know if you're having people come to your house or if you're just doing it online, like a Get Gills situation or whatever. But I would be careful with security for sure. Dr. Black Fish Room Camping. So yeah, that would be interesting. So I think this would be a pretty decent camping spot because A, you're covered and you can just sleep on the couch that's in here. It's not the best. So I think okay. So yeah, so Amber, I think you're gonna have like fish Woodstock at your house. I think Woodstock was New York, but still, I think they'll move the fish one to Vermont. So you can just kind of camp out. You know, you'll have like fish Woodstock in Vermont. So. Xiphophorus multilineatus. Okay. I do not have that one. So there's a ton of them. I mean, if you start poking around and, you know, looking around, and there's just a ton of different kinds. So I mean, there's just stuff that's just all over the place. So. All right, so let's go ahead here and we'll hit the second post of the week here. And yeah, I agree with Chevy. I mean, yeah, creeps. You know, you may be a big boy, but I don't think there's anyone that's bigger than a gun. So just keep that in mind too. So, yep, thank you for posting Candy's GoFundMe there, Bob. Bob, actually, or Candy, if you could post Aquapunks as well, I'd appreciate it. Definitely get him some help as well. Oh, boy. The echo is back. Turn it into John. Oh. All right, echo's gone. So, All right, do we have it now? I think the feedback, I think I fixed the problem. I think for whatever reason I keep, either I'm touching the mouse and I'm turning on the feedback, or, okay. Oh, I see how much I pay attention, so, sorry guys. All right, good. All right. Yeah, for some reason the audio input keeps going on, so. All right, so this one Candy will enjoy especially. Can anyone recommend the best way to paint the back of a tank? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, yeah, put Pam's on. I didn't know Pam's was there. So, the best way to do that, in my opinion, is one, paint it black, and two, I like to use the plastic dip stuff. I mean, there's various forms of it, but yeah. So if you just find the black plastic dip stuff, I find that to be the best. You can usually do a pretty decent job in one coat. And they don't sell it in blue. I guess you could buy white and tint it if you'd like, but painting tanks is a pain. Yeah, of all the things in the fish room, though, that's for me. That's not, that one doesn't bother me. The one I hate more than anything is having a leaking plumbing joint. It drives me nuts. That does drive me nuts. So I found that one. I thought we'd have a little fun for a minute. Plastic dip spray paint does work as well. I've used both, but either one of them is fine. Actually, I think the spray paint is a little better, but either one of them is fine. And then last but not least, there's a lot of talk. It's kind of, bringing the salt water back into this a little bit. Let me make sure we don't have any more echoes again. Is that Morsidal is one of those fish that people tell you not to keep. I've tried a couple of times and not had very good luck with them either. But if you look at this post, so basically this Morsidal basically was kind of looking a little rough if you look at the 12-19 picture. And then if you go to the 2-3 picture, looks like he's... yeah, the Krylon Fusion is the safe one for plastics. I'm finding it around, though, less and less. Zen. I think Walmart still carries it, but a lot of places are... I think Krylon is changing their paints, maybe. I know that the hardware store, like the Ace that's around me, has it on, like, clearance. And, of course, the black is all gone. Yeah, Frank, that's a good point. You want to paint the outside of the tank. If you use you could paint the inside if you use the Plasti Dip. If you use the Plasti Dip that comes out of the can, the stuff that's the spray, there's something in it that's harmful to fish, but you can use the inside of it. You can use the stuff that comes in the can, and that stuff works okay. So, alright, so it looks like we are getting close to 10 o'clock, so we got about a minute to go. So if you guys have any last questions, go ahead and share now or forever hold your peace, I guess. So, alright. So we are hitting up to the 10 o'clock hour here. Let me see. At GRB Aquatics, that's the way we all want to go live. I just randomly expanded for free cheap tanks. Over the 25 years around the house, 2 rooms, a fish shed. Yeah, this kind of happens. This is kind of how it happens for me too. I do actually have one other announcement too. On I believe it's February 22nd. I will be on Fisherman Fever stream, so look out for that, and I'm sure he's got some other folks on as well. So, all right, so we are at the 10 o'clock hour. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and hit you on the hit you up next Tuesday night, 9 p.m. as always. So with that being said, stay fishing. Oh, we gotta do one thing. Almost forgot. We do want to thank Bob Kaler for the super chat. Always appreciated, never required. So thank you guys again. Go ahead and hit up Dr. Black. We will see you next Tuesday night. Stay fishy, keep on breeding, and we will catch you guys on the next episode.